The polar bear, the California condor, all endangered species you've likely heard of. But here in Virginia, there's a bird that's attracted the attention of conservationists from all across the world. Tonight, a Wayne's World that goes deep into the woods, how one bird has been brought back from the brink of extinction right here in Virginia.
About an hour southeast of Richmond, if you take a turn off Route 460, and drive for about 2 miles down Chinkapin Road, you'll find a forest that looks unlike anything else in the Commonwealth.
This is unique to Southeast Virginia.
Piney Grove Preserve is a pine savanna, once common in the eastern United States, but now an oddity.
And this is the only place that you can see this.
And it's just about the only place you can hear a bird that has been given a second chance.
We have really turned the corner.
Bobby Clounce works for the Nature Conservancy. About 20 years ago, the nonprofit made it their mission to save the red-cockaded woodpecker.
We got down to 2 breeding pairs. We were very much on the last leg for this species.
So they purchased a few thousand acres of land here in Sussex County.
This was the last remaining site for the red-cockaded woodpecker in Virginia.
Unlike its more common cousins, the red-cockaded woodpecker is mostly black and white. In fact, only the males have a barely visible speck of red on their cheek. But while they may be missing that famous flaming red crest, this is a species that would likely go up in smoke if not for an unusual ally.
Without fire, we would not have red-cockaded woodpeckers.
While generations have been taught that forest fires are a very, very bad thing, when those flames are controlled, they create an ecosystem that is empowering this endangered species. It's all based on a heat-seeking history lesson.
Prior to European arrival on this continent, fire was abundant and it was frequent, particularly on the coastal plain. And as such, fuels never really accumulated enough for damaging fires.
So today, Clounce works alongside people like Matt Klein with the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries to safely conduct prescribed burns to restore the native historical landscape.
Really far as for, kind of your bang for your buck species and acres, it's second to none.
Because the grass and vegetation that grow back is home to numerous insects that are the main source of food for the red-cockaded woodpecker. So now, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, this bird's habitat in Virginia has been reborn.
We're looking at young RCWs.
It took a little bit of time, but this property, which is 3,200 acres, is nearly saturated with red-cockaded woodpeckers.
But it's not just the bird they are helping to reach new heights.
Longleaf pine had almost disappeared from the state, also until about 20 years ago when restoration efforts began.
The longleaf pine also depends on fire because its seeds only germinates when it's sitting on bare ground exposed to the full sun. But centuries without flames, in conjunction with over-harvesting and even free-range livestock, decimated the population.
Currently, we only have about 200 mature longleaf pine remaining in Virginia. That's very few trees.
Clounce says the Department of Forestry has worked diligently to collect the seeds from those trees and replant them.
It's all like this. It's young stuff, but the seeds of the forest have been planted.
The more longleaf pine, the longer the life of the bird that calls it home.
Without old pine trees, we would not have red-cockaded woodpeckers.
As to why Virginians should care,
this woodpecker is an indicator species. The presence of this woodpecker tells us that so many other things are right in this community.
A community that's beginning to thrive thanks to people like Clounce and Klein.
But it's always a pleasure to be out in the woods.
Who are dedicated to keeping these trees growing and this bird flying.
Without, this partnership, we wouldn't be able to get all the great work that we get done on the ground, in the name of conservation.
Not everybody can hear the benefits of their efforts. You can hear.
That's right. We hear it all the time.
Bobby Clounce says it's undeniable. If not for the work of the Nature Conservancy and the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, the red cockaded woodpecker would not exist in Virginia. That's a look inside Wayne's World. I'm Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.